Let's go. Jumping back in. Continuing. We are at 11 hours and 20 minutes in. We got to find the Justys. So there are a bunch of Justys lying around. We don't know which one. Let's start with the one near the entrance. Yeah, I'm Justy. I'm the toughest of the toughs. And the most popular guy in all Phenac besides. In other words, I look like a Justy without putting on a disguise. Blusix. Oh, this is Blusix. Look at me. I look cool, like Justy, yeah? Come on, I'll take you on. This is Cipher Peon Blusix, Blusix. Again, this time outside the lab. We are facing them at Horsey and Goldeen. Alright, use Confusion on level 20 Horsey. So Horsey and Goldeen are both level 20. We'll use Confusion on one, we'll use Faint Attack on the other. Doesn't really matter which in this context. $177 EXP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon. Alright, Goldeen is down. For that, 237 EXP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon. And then Beldum is the final Pokemon. It's a Steel-type Pokemon, which means it will do a lot. You're going to have to hit it with Fire. Fire Blast will do a lot of good on it. Confusion won't do as much damage. Fire Blast moves are super effective against Beldum. Beldum is down. 280 XP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon. We've beaten Cipher Peon Blusix, who says, "Buddy brat!" And you get 800 G for winning. Blusix says, "When it gets serious, the consequences could be really bad. That's why I took it easy on you," and runs off. Okay, drop something on the ground. Battle CD 16. So that's what we get for winning. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything else on this side. If we go on the left side, I know there's another Justy. Or at least I thought there was another Justy. I'm not seeing one on the left side here. Not even seeing any on the right here. So maybe we have to go all the way up the stairs to see the other ones. Okay, let's go up. There's one kind of just outside of the pre-gym. Let's go ahead and face that. You're too young a kid to understand this, but women, they like snooty kind of cool guys. So I figured by impersonating Justy, I'd be a homing beacon to the ladies, but Purpsix is the name. All the women here are my comrades in arms. They all know me. There's no point in chatting them up. Cipher Peon Purpsix would like to battle. Coughing and Grimer in play. They're both poison type Pokemon. Psychic type moves like Confusion will be good against all of these. Level 20 Coughing, level 20 Grimer, both poison types weak against Psychic type Pokemon. We'll just hit the other with Feint attack, but Confusion's really going to be one doing a lot of damage. $243 EXP for each non-Shadow Pokemon for taking out that first one. Grimer's still in. Tentacool is next. But after taking out Coughing, let's try to take out Grimer. Grimer is down 192 EXP for each of our non-Shadow Pokemon. Level 31 Espeon now. Zubat now in play, Poison and Flying type Pokemon in. Both Tentacool and Zubat are level 20. Both are Poison type Pokemon. Tentacool is a Water and Poison type. Zubat is a Poison and Flying type. We'll use Confusion on Tentacool. We'll use Feint attack on Zubat, just because we really should take out Tentacool first. Because if it's Water typing, it's potentially more effective against Pokemon like Houndoom on our side. 225 EXP. Each of our non-Shadow Pokemon on our team. Zubat is down 115 EXP for each of our non-Shadow Pokemon on our team, which, again, we have 2 of at any point in time. We've beaten Cipher Peon Purpsix, who says, "Oh, mama, I've lost." 800G for winning. Purpsix, "You're just a kid. You're too strong for one." And runs off and drops something on the ground. The spot monitor is responding. Okay, we got Battle CD 08. Alright, we can go and check the spot thing, but we got Battle CD, what, 8? We'll take a quick look at Poké Spots. Again, strictly optional. None of this Poké Spot stuff is even necessary. We might as well mess around with some of the wild Pokemon and see what we can catch in places. There's a wild Aron here in the cave. Okay, Spot, A-R-O-N. That is a Steel type Pokemon. Let's switch to a Pokemon. Oh, it's only level 10. Okay, we really don't want to do too much damage to it. We'll be putting Carvanha, that's level 15. We can use Bite maybe on it. We just want to lower it a little bit on health though, not being out. Okay, that'll work. It's down to halfway using Carvanha's Bite. Alright, so we'll use, we'll start throwing Pokeballs. And we'll keep throwing Pokeballs at it. Alright, keep throwing Pokeballs until we catch one. This Aeron is surprisingly pushing back. We have caught Aeron. Alright, so we caught Aeron. That's cool. Let's put another Poké Snack on here and let's keep this moving. That's awesome. So we caught another Pokemon. We are now up to, well, it's not a shadow Pokemon that we've got, but still cool. Check out Oasis Poké Spot as well before we go back and fight more Justys. Okay, nothing here. Okay. Makuhita can now be purified. Okay, let's go and do that. Go back to the Pokemon HQ lab. Yeah, we might as well heal while we're at the healing machine. Okay, we're getting back to the middle. Let's go ahead and rock to the music. Okay, we're placing Makuhita in the set. Let's go ahead and have it be ready to open its heart. Makuhita. Makuhita opened the door to its heart. Makuhita regained the move Brick Break. Makuhita regained the move Refresh. Makuhita obtained a ribbon. Makuhita will be transferred. Okay. So we got one. Another one purified. That's the 13th one we've got. We can move another one in. We can put a Shroomish in now into the party Pokemon to purify. So we've purified all of those now. All right, let's head back to Phenac City. And on the southeast side of the map, we fought Purpsix and Blusix so far. Let's find the other fake Justys, I guess. We go left, kind of near where the mayor's house was. There's another Justy. I'm Justy. My fellowship is 6. So there are also 6 Justys. There are 6 of us. So our sense of presence is sixfold. Our appeal is sixfold too. We're not just bit players. Okay, so that was Greesix. Greesix. Come on, kid. I'll take you with my sixfold power. Alright, so Oddish and Cacnea in play. Both level 18. Cacnea is a grass type. Oddish is grass and poison. We'll use Confusion on Oddish. And we can use Fire Blast on Cacnea. I guess fire types moves like Fire Blast from Houndoom will be good against anything. $150 EXP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon. Taking out Oddish. Cacnea is now also down. 186 EXP for each non-shadow Pokemon. Okay. Level 19 Shroomish in play. That's grass type. Lotad, level 19 is a grass and water type Pokemon. We will use Confusion on Lotad because that is a fire or is a water type as well. We'll use Fire Blast on Shroomish. $150 EXP to each non-shadow Pokemon. $132 EXP for each non-shadow Pokemon. For taking that out. Pineco is the last Pokemon now. Level 20, also a grass type Pokemon. Confusion, Fire Blast, those kind of moves will do well against Pineco. $127 EXP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon for taking out a Pineco. Resix, I feel crushing disappointment sixfold. You haven't seen anything of our brotherly love yet. And then he runs off. And he drops a Battle CD. I think. Yep, one Battle CD 28. Okay, so we've fought a few so far. What if we go upstairs? Okay, there's nothing upstairs. Because the stadium path, I think, would probably still be blocked. Yeah. On the right side of the pre-gym is another Justy. Let's fight the Justy. Oh. Spot monitor is responding. Okay, I guess we can do that and then fight this Justy. Spot monitor is responding again. So 2 spots, I guess. Hey, there's another Sandshrew at the rock Poké Spot. levels are higher now. Look at that. Sandshrews level 22, so we might be able to do a quick attack on it and not knock it out. Probably multiple quick attacks, actually. Well, with the defense on, I can probably even do like a swift move on it. Not knock it out. Try to catch it. Okay, throwing the Pokeball at it. Alright, caught a second Sandshrew. This one's at level 22. That's cool. Carvanha can now be purified. Now that's neat. Let's check the other two spots first. Actually, you know what? We haven't even put anything back on this one yet. Let's put the snack down. So it looks like Sandshrew, I mean, we've seen more than one now, so that's kind of neat in this area. Cave hasn't done anything, so Oasis probably, there's probably been something eaten at Oasis already. There's a Hoppip again. I think I've seen one here before. So it seems like wild Pokemon kind of get higher level each time you run into them a little bit, like over time. Because these have been higher level. So if I use a quick attack, for example. Alright, we've knocked it down a bit. Let's throw a Pokeball at it. And then we might even want to buy more at Gotti again. And let's put some more in there. Let's go to the Pokemon HQ lab. Because we can go back and do another purification. And we'll heal healing machine every chance we get when we're purifying, because it's just right there. Okay, so we'll go to Party Pokemon. We'll take Carvanha out. And put Carvanha down. And then we'll have it get purified too. Ravana opened the door to its heart. Carvana regained the move Water Pulse. Carvana regained the move Refresh. Okay, Carvana also got a ribbon. Okay, cool. So Carvana is another one that's down. And now this is kind of a slower way to go through XD, but it's kind of fun to go and actually purify all these Pokemon because they deserve to be purified, right? And more than one Sandshrew and more than one Pop-It, I guess. Alright, we're going back up to the Justy on the right. Oh, I've seen that kid before. Wasn't that at the desert lab? No, my mistake. I'm Justy now. Ha ha ha. I couldn't have seen him. Hi there, I'm Justy, and I brawl for justice. If it's advice you need, I'm here for you, my friend. Huh? A lab? In the desert, you say? I don't have the faintest idea. You don't believe me. And so this is Resix, I guess. Resix, you little snoop. Why can't you let certain things slide by? Alright, Slugma and Numel are in both level 20, both fire-type Pokemon. Let's use Confusion on one, Feint Attack on the other, doesn't really matter. Under 66 EXP for each non-Shadow Pokemon for taking that out. Numel is now also down. 187 EXP for each non-Shadow Pokemon. Resix, you're our worst nightmare. 800 G for winning. Resix, bleh, don't you forget this. Okay. Drops off another Battle CD as well. This is Battle CD number 19. Okay, so that's 4 of them. We need to figure out where the other ones are. And we have not been in a Justy gym, so... or the pre-gym, so let's actually go in a pre-gym. Welcome to the Prestige Precept Center. Or as everyone says, the pre-gym. Oh, you have a letter from the mayor for Justy? Is that right? Oh, I hear a little voice speak to me, and that voice tells me to take that letter from you. This is Cipher Peons Eloin, Eloin, would like to battle. Alright, Curlia is the Curlia is level 22. Curlia is a psychic only type Pokemon. Not yet fairy yet. Lanoon, level 20, is a normal type Pokemon. Now let's use Confusion on Lanoon, and we will use Faint Attack, because it's a dark move against a psychic move, our Pokemon against Curlia. $273 EXP for each non-Shadow Pokemon. There's a Shadow Pokemon here in the Natu. Natu's a Psychic and Flying type Pokemon. $330 EXP for each non-Shadow Pokemon. Yay for taking that out. With the Ralt taken out, we're down to 1 Pokemon. We can use Quick Attack on Natu. Let's try to not knock it out. We'll just use Call on Houndoom for now. Okay, we'll use another quick attack on Natu. We'll use Call. Alright, now it's down to low health. We start throwing Pokeballs at the Eloin's Natu, E-L-O-I-N, and then we'll just use Call on Houndoom. Alright, we have beaten Cipher Peons Eloin. Eloin, yeah, steal our Pokemon, will you? $1,000 for winning. Okay, we got the Natu. We got another spot monitor response, so let's do it. Alright, let's check the spots first. Staying back, and then we'll also do the... Okay, there's an Aeron again in the rock spot, so we're starting to see some of the same Pokemon, so maybe there are only so many. Alright, we got Shroomish in. We can do Mega Drain to try and knock down Aeron a little bit. Okay, we'll keep knocking down a little bit. We can start throwing Pokeballs at it because it's below, but we need to buy more Pokeballs now at this point. All right, let's... All right, let's go to Agati and buy more Pokeballs. All right, we got 10 more Pokeballs. Got more Premier Balls as well. You get the one bonus. Spawn Monitor is responding again. So I'm not seeing as much in the way of a bonus here because we're starting to see some of the same Pokemon. So I haven't gone through like 20 Poké Snacks or whatever. Like, okay, here's another Hoppip, right? So right now it may make sense for us to just use up the remaining stacks and then not use any more for a while. Got Shroomish again, and we will Mega Drain's not gonna do much. guess we can do one Shadow Force. I guess we don't really need that many Hoppits and Sandshrews and stuff. Right, so having done enough of these, we apparently didn't need to put any more down, but we may as well put the last few down, see what happens. Alright, let's head back to Phenac City. Going back into the pre-jam. The kid outside says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! A whole bunch of Justys popped out. It would take someone as good as Justy to pull off a double team himself. He's so awesome." Okay, we got a clear pre-gym, I'm assuming here. Let's see. We go off to the right side. There's currently no one at the chair, which we've seen Justy at. The elevator key is missing from its slot. Spot monitors responding again. I want to go around and take a look around here first. So there's no one around the stage, although I guess there's a Justy down the middle. On the left side there is a kid says, What? What is happening? The whiteboard says, there's a list called the Pokemon Trainer Commandments. Pokemon are tools for battle. Destroy enemies with Pokemon. Control Pokemon for easy wins. We're already basically here, so let's go. Lady says, you're good, but the way you battle is different. Pokemon are just tools for battling. The way you battle, you play things too safe with your Pokemon. Cipher Peon says, and this lady is a Cipher Peon, since you don't seem to hear what I'm saying, I suppose I better just beat it into you. Cipher Peon Fasin, F-A-S-I-N, would like to battle. Remoraid, level 22 Water-type Pokemon. Level 22 Golbat is a Poison and Flying-type Pokemon. We'll use Confusion on Golbat. We'll use Faint Attack on Remoraid. This Confusion will be super effective against Golbat. 402 EXP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon for taking that out. Then Roselia is out, which is a shadow Pokemon. Remoraide's now down after, so that was, the initial one was Golbat. Remoraid being down 183 EXP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon. And then Shadow Roselia gets interesting. We can use a Swift move on it, and then we'll just do a Call. We don't want to knock out. Okay, we'll do a quick attack to knock Roselia down a little bit further. We'll do a Call move. We just don't want to knock out Roselia while we're catching it. Roselia using Shadow Wave as a move. Shadow moves tend to be pretty effective from Shadow Pokemon. We will use a Pokeball on Roselia. Call, and we'll just keep throwing until we catch it. Roselia was caught. We beat Cipher Peon Fasin, who says, "You have no appreciation for our work." 1000 G for winning. Alright, we caught another Pokemon, so let's save. That's going to be 24. I guess we can check out the Poké stops and all that. Once those run out of the Poké Snacks, I don't imagine adding any more for at least a while. There's another Sandshrew at the rock spot. I don't know if Mega Drain's gonna knock out Sandshrew or not, but let's find out, I guess. Oh, it didn't. Barely. Yeah, catch one more Sandshrew, I suppose. Alright, caught another Sandshrew. I guess we'll use up the last few Poké Snacks while we're at it. We do gotta heal, though. What is a good spot to actually heal? We can still go back to the H2 lab to heal. Heading back to the Pre Gym after another detour. Oh, wrong way. All right, let's go back to the pre-gym. Head to the so-called Justy. You're good. You figured out that I'm the real Justy, huh? You're wondering if I'm a fake too? Okay, yes. If you want to be precise, I'm the real Justy impersonator. Even Justy can do a thing. When we showed him, we had hostages galore. He's being a model prisoner along with the mayor and the rest of them right here in Pre-Gym's basement. If you want to play hero and rescue them, well, you'll need to deal with me first. Cipher Peon Fostin, F-O-S-T-I-N. Alright, let's see. Level 22 Kadabra. Kadabra is a psychic type Pokemon. And then we also have Sneasel. Sneasel is a dark and ice type Pokemon. So, Confusion is not actually good against either of them. We can use Swift to hit both of them. We can use Feint Attack on Kadabra to go for the KO. Alright, so we'll use Swift again. Next Dark move, Feint Attack should knock out Kadabra from that point. $340 EXP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon. We're taking out the Kadabra. Sneasel is in. Misdreavus, well, Sneasel's been in. Misdreavus is now out in play, a ghost type Pokemon weak against Dark and Psychic. $346 EXP for each non-shadow Pokemon for taking out that Misdreavus basically in one go. Meowth is now in a normal type Pokemon for the Cipher Peon. It is a shadow Pokemon that we can try to catch. Look at how dancing happily it is. We can use Swift on both. We can use Feint Attack on Sneasel to knock it out. $310 EXP for each non-shadow Pokemon for taking out the Sneasel. Alright, we'll use Swift again on Meowth. We'll use Call. 100 and... Wait, did we knock it out? Darn it. Alright, we will... We did not mean to beat Fostin like that to take out the Meowth. We'll redo it, that's fine. Alright, let's jump back in. We'll fight against them again. Gotta watch out, I guess, with these swift moves on Meowth. Even the swift moves are doing a decent amount of damage. Maybe we'll want to use quick attack instead, but right now we're refacing the Kadabra and Sneasel after the reset. And still doing a swift and feint attack kind of moves. $340 EXP for each non-shadow Pokemon. Level 32 now, after taking out the, or Espeon taking out the Kadabra. And Misdreavus is back in now. We'll still use Swift. Well, we use Confusion, I suppose, with Misdreavus, so let's do that. We can still use Feint Attack on Sneasel. $310 EXP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon. Alright, again, we gotta go for a Meowth and not knock it out. That's gonna be the challenge here. Alright, we will use Quick Attack on Meowth. Feint Attack on Misdreavus. Let's try to not knock out Meowth this time. Quick Attack is not likely to do nearly as much damage. I guess we really want to be careful, we would just leave that be. 346 EXP for each non-shadow Pokemon doing that. Being the Misdreavus. I guess we don't even use Quick Attack at all on Meowth. Because if Shadow Rush doing some recoil damage functionally, we can put in something else. Just keep throwing balls. Let's use Espeon's Call and we use Rawls potentially. Use a lower level confusion move against Meowth, and maybe that'll be okay, not knock it out. I'm not sure. Okay, now we're at the point where we can start throwing Pokeballs, so let's do that. Okay, we caught Meowth this time. Alright, Fostin says, I blew that one. 1000 G for winning. Fostin snickers, sorry pal, beating me won't set the bunch downstairs free. You needed the elevator key to get into Pre Gym's basement. Sorry to say, nobody trusts me with anything important like that. Okay. We're obviously going to want to heal again, but we caught the Shadow Meowth there, and we're up to 25 of the Shadow Pokemon. Now we gotta figure out where this elevator key would even be. I mean, we have fought 4 of the Justys so far. Well, 5, I guess, technically. But is there anyone else? We have not walked into every single building, so it could even be in one of the buildings. Shop is still closed. I don't think there'd be anyone in the Pokemon Center, but still check it. Right side, no, and there's no one in this house. Hmm. Guess we could go in the mayor's house again and see if there's anyone else. That's like the only other super obvious place I can think of right now. Hey, you nitwit. There's no point having 2 Justys hanging around here together. Go somewhere else. Yeah, but I found this place first. You go find your own place. Nonsense. For someone as elegant and gorgeous as I, only a setting this plush is worthy. You don't use that condescending tone on me. I'm older than you, and besides, we're both Justy now. What the? What are you looking at? You think we're putting on a show or something? Yellosix. So this is Yellosix. But what's been seen can be used as witness testimony. You can curse your luck, but we can't let you walk away. Cipher Peons Yellosix sends out 2 electric type Pokemon, Electric and a Chinchou. Chinchou is electric and water. Chinchou is water and electric. Electric is just electric, both level 20. We'll hit, well, either of them with confusion, really. We'll hit Chinchou first just because it's also a water type. Oh yeah, I didn't heal. Oops. Well, in any case, we will use, okay, we'll just use confusion on both. Just try and knock them out one by one. Electric is down 1 hit from the confusion, 222 EXP for each non-shadow Pokemon. Magnemite is the final Pokemon in for Yellosix. Magnemite is an electric and steel type Pokemon. Ralts uses confusion. Okay. Okay, we'll use Confusion on Chinchou. We'll use... I guess we can use Shadow Wave on Magnemite. $192 EXP for each non-Shadow Pokemon. Magnemite's the final Pokemon to take out. Confusion, Shadow Wave. Okay, that's 190 EXP for each of our non-Shadow Pokemon. Yellowsix says, I hate brats. 800G for winning. Yellowsix, you're tough enough that I'm willing to let you become my little brother. Think it over, okay? Runs off. You're just a kid. This is the other Justy. But you're good at battling. I hate battling. I wish you'd leave me alone. Ralts can now be purified. We have gotten a Battle CD number 27. We'll come back. Let's heal first. Spot monitor is responding. Was there something about Ralts being able to be purified? I'm already losing track. Regardless, let's go ahead and heal. I honestly don't even recall what I looked at there. Let's find out if we had like a Ralts that could be I honestly don't even recall. If I'm wrong, I guess. I thought I saw something about Ralt being... But it's very possible I'm wrong. Oh, no, yeah. It's ready to open its heart, yep. Ralt can open its heart. Ralts open the door to its heart. Ralts regain the move Shockwave. Ralts regain the move Sing. Ralts regain 482 EXP. Ralts obtained a ribbon. Alright, so we purified a Ralts. That's cool. Going back to the PC, let's do another swap. We move a Pineco into the list of Pokemon to purify. Ralts has been purified. And we've healed everything. I think there was something about a stop to Poké Spot. Monitor responses, okay. We'll use up the last few. Another hop up at the Oasis. We're just gonna have a ton of these. So that's why I think we're ready to stop with the Snag soon. I guess we can put in Mawile or something. I don't know if Vice Grip even does anything. Does decent damage, actually. A Mawile, our Steel type Pokemon, that's not yet a Fairy type. We'll throw another Pokeball at it. Like what, the third or so pop up at this point? I guess if we have any left, we can still Poké Smash. There's two more. Might as well. Another one over here in the sand. Rock. It's in the rock Poké Spot. Hey, Poké Spot. Okay, there's nothing left here. That's fine. We will wrap it up there. We'll go to Phenac City, see if we can do what we need to do with this final Justy. Going back in the mayor's house on the northwest side of Phenac City. After a bunch of detours to purify Pokemon and to catch wild Pokemon. And to buy more Pokeballs. The other Justy says, "Buzz off already. I'm trying to project myself as a cool and intellectual Justy. A cool and smart guy doesn't waste his time battling. However, Browsix. This is Browsix, Browsix. It's a different story when it comes to pests. Cipher Peon Browsix would like to battle Noctowl and Vigoroth. Noctowl and Vigoroth are both normal type Pokemon. Noctowl is a normal and flying type Pokemon, both level 20. Confusion and Faint attack, doesn't really matter which attacks what. Vigoroth is down 270 EXP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon on our side. Total 540 experience, in other words. We've got Noctowl coming at us. Last remaining Pokemon. Doesn't look like Browsix has any shadow Pokemon for us to catch or anything like that. Espeon game and Houndoom game, both 346 EXP as the two non-shadow Pokemon. We've beaten Browsix, who says, "Now you've done it!" and he just collapses in a heap. 800 G for winning. Haven't you had enough? Go somewhere and play! Okay. There's something on the ground. It's Battle CD 32. So we've cleared all 6 of the Power Rangers, but we need to figure out where we go next. Can we do anything upstairs? Because we've cleared the 6 the 6 Power Ranger Justies, and then there are even more Justies that were inside. So. There's something about being underground for the pre-gym. But how do we get... What's next? Because we need an elevator key. But where would the elevator key be? Appears to be an elevator, but it is not responding. It looks like our secret's out of the bag already. This is me going up north from the pre-gym. We didn't want any attention until our recovery operation was done, but it's too late for that now. So they're blocking the stadium, but apparently they are also Cipher. Whoops, did I say recovery operation? Don't you worry about it, it's got nothing to do with you. Cipher Peon Greck, G-R-E-C-K, would like to battle. Alright, so there's a Torkoal and a Nuzleaf. Torkoal is a fire-type Pokemon. Then we got Nuzleaf. Nuzleaf is a grass-type Pokemon and also a dark-type Pokemon. So we are going to use Confusion on Torkoal. We'll use Fire Blast, I guess, on Nuzleaf. We can't really use Psychic moves at all on Nuzleaf, and Dark won't be super strong. Nuzleaf does use a Fake Out move, which gets Espeon. $346 EXP for each of our non-shadow Pokemon in. Swinub is now in after we took. Let's say the Swinub is a shadow type Pokemon. Torkoal, so we've beaten Nuzleaf. We still gotta beat Torkoal and catch Swinub. We'll use Confusion on Torkoal. We will use... Actually, we'll use we'll use Swift on both, and we'll use Faint Attack on Torkoal. Swinub is level 22. It's an Ice-type Pokemon. Just trying not to knock it out. That's why we're using Swift. Torkoal's mostly down. Swinub uses Shadow Wave as a move. Again, Shadow Pokemon do good shadow damage, but this is more chip damage than anything, really. Espeon's trapped in the vortex. It's hurt by Fire Spin. Okay, we'll use Swift on both. We'll just use Call on Houndoom. Again, we don't want to knock Swinub out. Torkoal is down. Swinub's weakened a bit on the Swift move. Beating Torkoal gives us 379 EXP for each of our 2 non-shadow Pokemon. Swinub continue hit with Shadow Blitz, again, sort of chipping away in terms of damage. But now Swinub is below half health. We can do Call on one Pokemon, and we can throw Pokeballs with the other. Snag Ball at Swinub. I guess we can use one more Swift attack on Swinub, but then we've got to just throw Pokeballs otherwise at Swinub. Because Swinub can handle one more hit. Still breaking free the ball, but the Swift attack should knock it down a little bit in terms of... Oh no, I knocked it out completely. I'm gonna have to redo. Alright, let's do the reset. I did not actually expect to knock that out with a Swift. Let's at least go and beat that again. Hey, we can just redo that battle and try to catch the thing. I guess that next Swift just knocked it out, but let's try it again. Same kind of moves. Repeating the exact same moves on Rhetorical and Nuzleaf. I'll just use Swift on both. Use Fire Blast on Nuzleaf. And that's just because Nuzleaf's Fake Out always takes out the first Pokemon, and it happened to take out our Houndoom this time instead. So same kind of experience points, as I'm not going to repeat that. And Swinub's back in play again. We want to catch the Swinub, right? Nuzleaf is down. Well, I guess we can use quick attacks on Swinub. And just keep calling. Let's not knock this thing out a second time. Swinub still a Shadow Blitz as a move. Swinub's below half health now. I think we can start chucking Pokeballs at it. And calling with the other Pokemon. Hey, we got the Swinub this time. Very cool. Shadows. Greck, take it easy. Don't be so rough. You got 1000 G for winning. All right, let's again. Let's heal first before we actually wrap up. But let's save first. Not really a heal spot here, but again, we'll go back. It's just cheaper to do it this way. Do we need to heal this much? Probably not. Might as well, though. Once we get back up to where we just fought, we'll save and end for the day. Probably. Unless any other signal comes up before then, in terms of a message, then we may consider it. All right, let's save here. We are now at 1234. 26 Shadow Pokemon, 15 Purified. This will be a good stopping point. Thanks for watching.